No need to wait for the next episode. The full audio novel is already available on my website. Check it out below. This was a boundless forest. Looking up, it seemed as if the entire world was covered by trees. This forest had existed for an unknown period of time, making it seem incomparably quiet. One could only hear the sound of the wind blowing. Suddenly there was a burst of space somewhere, and waves of ripples spread out. In the next moment, the space slowly cracked into a fine crack, and a human figure fell down. The moment before he landed on the ground, his body stopped for a moment before he could barely stand up. Xiao, who had fallen to the ground, first summoned his alien flame to protect himself. After that, he looked around and could not help but smile bitterly. The holy rank trial is indeed abnormal. It actually needs to start from Forest Domain. Forest Domain was located in the Forest Domain. The Forest Domain was located in the east of the Star-Moon Spirit Domain. It was vast and boundless, and it was filled with countless dangers. Although the map given by the old man from the academy showed the dots of light that represented him, and it was almost at the border of the Star-Moon Spirit Domain, this distance was enough to make one's scalp tingle. Can we get there in 15 years? Xiao sighed, and then his eyes became determined. He felt the restless origin monarch chi in his body and said with a smile, "I don't care about that anymore. Since we have already started to explore the big world, let's increase our strength first." After he had become a fighting monarch, he had stayed in the fighting chi continent for several decades. The foundation of the fighting monarch had already been stabilized. After the baptism of the transformation emperor gate, there were already signs of advancement. After running for half a day in the forest, Xiao finally found a relatively hidden cave. The nearby trees were dense, and the tall weeds almost covered the cave. Xiao nodded his head in satisfaction. Although his sovereign realm's soul was greatly suppressed in the great world, he could still clearly see it within a 100-meter radius. After entering the cave, although it wasn't very big, it could still accommodate 1 or 2 people. It must have been dug out by a small devil beast. In the cave, Xiao used the heavenly flame to easily dig out a huge rock and seal the cave entrance. After leaving only a few small openings for breathing, Xiao clapped his hands and shot out a few fire beads to illuminate the cave. After that, he sat down cross-legged. Although the number of Xiaoyans in the cave would be greatly reduced, it was also the safest method. Xiao did not want to die in the stomach of the devil beast as soon as he arrived in the great world. After adjusting his breathing, Xiao quickly entered into a state of cultivation. He formed a finger seal with both hands. Very quickly, strands of origin monarch qis rushed towards Xiao. When they passed through the purifying demonic lotus flame on the surface of Xiao body, all the origin monarch qis turned into the purest energy and drilled into Xiao body. Ever since he advanced into the fighting monarch, he had never enjoyed this kind of carefree cultivation for many years. Xiao couldn't help but lightly exclaim. After that, he focused his mind and began to control the origin monarch qis that entered his body. However, not long after that, Xiao was stunned. The origin monarch qi that had entered his body had disappeared before he could refine it. Xiao didn't give up and tried several times, but it was still the same. The origin monarch qi that had entered his body mysteriously disappeared. Xiao was shocked and somewhat uneasy. What's going on? Could it be that he didn't succeed after passing through the transformation emperor gate? Xiao heart was burning like fire as he mumbled. Just as Xiao was in a state of panic, suddenly his brows moved. He hastily closed his eyes and entered his soul into his mind, carefully feeling it. Soon a dark red text appeared in his mind. The text trembled like flames. This was the cultivation technique that Xiao practiced, burning spell. At this moment, the origin monarch qis that appeared out of nowhere were crazily pouring into the mysterious text. Every time the origin monarch qis were injected into the text would tremble slightly, and the dark red color would change slightly. Xiao was startled and mumbled, "Burning spell, what's wrong?" Although Xiao was very surprised, he was no longer afraid. It turned out that it wasn't because he couldn't absorb the origin monarch qi. It was because all the origin monarch qis that entered his body had been absorbed by the burning spell. Seeing that the speed of the burning spell absorbing the origin monarch qi had increased instead of decreasing, Xiaoyan took a deep breath. Immediately he began absorbing the origin monarch qis with all his heart. S injected into the burning spell increased by a lot. When all the origin monarch qis turned from dark red to an indescribable pure red, the text suddenly shook. Emitting thousands of golden lights, Xiaoyan hurriedly closed his eyes. After that, the golden light dissipated. Xiaoyan instantly felt an indescribable feeling, as if the burning spell he was cultivating was truly a great world. The burning spell has become a sovereign rank cultivation technique. Sensing the energy fluctuation contained within the burning spell, Xiaoyan's eyes revealed a look of shock, and he almost shouted out loud. The cultivation techniques of the great world went from low to high, and they were divided into sovereign level, and saint tier. Each level was further divided into 4 grades, low, middle, high, and supreme level. Although the burning spell had only become a middle-level sovereign level cultivation technique, Xiaoyan was still incomparably shocked. Could it be that the burning spell has something to do with this world? Xiaoyan shook his head. Something like this. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to think of such a thing, no matter how hard he tried. The fact that the burning spell could evolve was also a good thing for him. At least he didn't have to worry about the matter of changing his cultivation technique. Even though the cultivation technique was very low, but at least it's a lot better than Heaven's art. Since he could refine the origin monarch qi that entered his body, he should break through as soon as possible. After calming down the excitement caused by the burning spell's evolution, Xiaoyan closed his eyes once again and performed a finger skill with both hands. This time because the burning spell was a mid-grade sovereign rank cultivation technique. The speed at which Xiaoyan absorbed the origin monarch qi was several times faster than before. Very quickly, the origin monarch qis around the small cave surged into the cave, causing the huge rocks in front of the cave to crack open. A large number of origin monarch qi were purified by the purifying demonic lotus flame and entered Xiaoyan's body. Under the control of Xiaoyan's mind, all of the origin monarch qis entered a small ball of golden red light in his dantian. This small ball of light was the origin monarch crystal, formed by the origin monarch qi formed by all the combat ki. When it passed through the Emperor Transformation Gate, a large amount of pure origin monarch qis poured into the origin monarch crystal. The origin monarch crystal quickly increased at a speed that could not be seen by the naked eye. As the origin monarch crystal increased, it also released waves of refined origin monarch qis that poured into Xiaoyan's meridians and bone marrow, strengthening his body. After several decades, Xiaoyan once again felt the pleasure of his strength increasing. About half a day later, the Xiaoyans that entered Xiaoyan's body began to slow down. On the other hand, Xiaoyan, at this moment his skin was golden red and the veins on his arms were bulging. The energy that was released in his breath caused dust to fall from the mountain wall not far away. Xiaoyan's qi was also rising and falling. This was a sign that he was about to break through. Xiaoyan gritted his teeth and his aura suddenly disappeared. In the next moment, his aura, which was much stronger than before, burst out. The walls on both sides were hit by a strong impact, and broken stones kept falling down. After a while, the powerful qi gradually dissipated. Xiaoyan opened his eyes at the same time. In his pitch-black eyes, a golden red light flashed. Xiaoyan moved his body, and the sound of bones cracking could be heard without an end. He stood up and felt the surging origin monarch qi in his body. He said with a smile on his face, "As expected, my 10 years of stay in the fighting qi continent was not in vain. At the very least, I have made the foundation of the fighting monarch extremely stable. Next time, I will advance from a 2-star Du sovereign to an early 3-star Dao sovereign. This is also within my expectations." After lamenting for a while, Xiaoyan took out a red scroll from his interspatial storage ring. It was the elementary monarch art given to him by an elder of the Yunlo Academy. After playing with it for a while, Xiao let out a sigh of relief. His strength wouldn't improve much in a short period of time, so he could only cultivate monarch arts to make himself stronger. He tore open the red scroll. The scroll was filled with tiny words which were moving on the scroll like dragons and snakes. At the top of the scroll there were 3 big red words, Flame Dragon's Rush. Xiao was about to read the content when he saw a line of small words attached to the side of the big red words. Those who practice this monarch art must have strength above the 5-star fighting monarch. Xiao face darkened and he almost cursed out loud. Only those with 5 stars of fighting monarch and above could cultivate it. Although this was also the reason for the holy rank trial, it was still a little too ruthless. 5-star fighting monarchies were not something that could be created just like that. Could it be that he had to rely on the few Tian-class Do techniques that he had grasped to make his way here? Although all the Do Qi in his body had been converted into origin monarch Qis, the power of the Tian-class Do techniques should have increased by quite a bit. However, it was still much weaker compared to any primary monarch art. It was even more impossible to use it to deal with those powerful spirit beasts. Frowning, Xiao pondered for a moment. Then with a flip of his palm, a jade pearl filled with dense jade pearls appeared in his hand. This was the jade pearl that he had obtained when he killed 9 Nether Monarch's bug. However, all the combat ki within it had turned into jade pearls when it passed through the transforming Emperor Gate. 9 Nether Monarch's bug had existed in that mysterious spatial passageway for an unknown number of years. However, he was able to become a 3-star Dudi in that place. Moreover, he had fought with ancient monarch Tuo Shi after becoming a fighting monarch. He must have experienced at least 10,000 years. In such a long period of time, he had encountered no less than 10 fighting Qi continents that had advanced from the fighting Qi continent. Even if some of the fighting monarchies had escaped, the combat power that 9 Nether Monarch's bug had obtained over the years was shocking enough. However, he could only absorb a small portion. He did not have the ability to absorb most of the combat power. This combat power condensed into a jade pearl in 9 Nether Monarch's bug's body. After Xiao obtained this jade pearl, it passed through the Emperor Transformation Gate. The majestic Do Qi within it also transformed into an origin monarch Qi. As he sensed the rich jade pearls contained within the jade pearl, Xiao muttered to himself, "Senior fighting monarch of the fighting Qi continent. 9 Nether Monarch's bug has already fallen. Xiao will help you take revenge for your deaths." As soon as he finished speaking, a faintly discernible resentment of the Emperor spread out from the jade pearl and disappeared. Xiao felt the Emperor's grudge dissipating in the air and mumbled, "After many years of bitter cultivation, I finally became a sovereign. I didn't expect that I would die on my way to the great world. I'm sure the seniors' hearts must be filled with endless hatred." Sighing, Xiao sat cross-legged again. He placed the jade pearl in front of him and once again entered into a state of cultivation. Not long after, the jade pearl seemed to be summoned and started spinning rapidly. Every time it spun, a visible origin, monarch Qi, would separate from it and enter Xiao body. As the origin monarch Qis in the jade pearl were extremely pure, Xiao did not need to use the purifying demonic lotus flame to purify them before he placed all of them into Xiao origin monarch crystal. Very quickly, Xiao aura began to slowly increase. Mid 3-star Do D, late 3-star Do D. In the end, Xiao was directly enveloped by the dense origin monarch Qi. Xiao aura was also rising like a rocket. His powerful aura caused the mountain walls on both sides to crack open, forming countless spiderweb-like cracks. On the mountain wall above Xiao head, countless sharp stones kept falling down. However, Xiao sat still like an old monk, allowing the sharp stones to hit his body. Mid 4-star Do D, late 4-star Do D. When Xiao aura reached its peak once again, powerful air currents shot out from his body once again, blasting towards his surroundings. The huge rock at the cave entrance could no longer withstand it. With a loud bang, it exploded, waking Xiao Yan, who was intoxicated by the rapid growth of his strength. Oh no! He has already reached the middle stage of the 5-star fighting monarch. He doesn't dare to continue growing. Otherwise, the gains won't make up for the losses. Xiao Yan shouted out loudly. The speed at which he absorbed the origin monarch qi immediately slowed down. After a moment, the jade pearl that had shrunk by nearly half stopped spinning and fell into Xiao Yan's hand. Xiao Yan smiled bitterly. I have still reached the late stage of the 5-star fighting monarch. Luckily, I have not advanced to the 6th star of the combat emperor realm. Otherwise, I don't know how long it would take to condense the origin monarch qi in my body. In the next 2 days, Xiao Yan wandered around the area. However, he didn't encounter a single spirit beast. This made Xiao Yan both happy and anxious. The happiest thing was that he did not encounter any spirit beast before he started cultivating monarch arts. The most urgent thing was that he needed to spend more time to solidify the origin monarch qi in his body. After all battles could allow him to familiarize himself with the energy in his body faster. Xiao Yan had also tried to refine medicine pills before. However, he gave up after thinking for a moment. He did not even know the basic method of refining medicine pills in this large world, nor did he know the medicine pill formula. It was simply impossible for him to refine medicine pills. Even so, Xiao Yan discovered many medicinal herbs that could refine a 9th-grade golden pill in the forest. With Xiao Yan's current strength, refining a 9th-grade golden pill was effortless. After destroying countless medicinal herbs, Xiao Yan finally figured out the refining method and formula for a medicine pill. In these few days, Xiao Yan had refined over 20 qi recovery pills. The qi recovery pill was the medicine pill that Xiao Yan had successfully refined by chance. It could slightly speed up the recovery time of the origin monarch qi. After 2 days of refining Xiao Yan's, the origin monarch qi within Xiao Yan's body had finally solidified. Next, it was time to cultivate the flame dragon charge. On top of a boulder, a young man in a black shirt was sitting quietly with a red scroll in his hand. The words on the scroll were engraved in his mind. Flame Dragon Charge Elementary Fire Attribute Monarch Level Cultivation Technique. Concentrate the origin monarch qi on the meridians in both arms and connect with the mind activating it. When mastered, it can become a 9-foot 9-inch flame dragon. When the flame dragon roars, not even a blade of grass can survive. After a few short introductions, there were the mental cultivation method and cultivation matters. Xiao Yan wrapped his soul energy around the scroll and quickly read through all the words in detail. According to the scroll, Xiao Yan circulated the origin monarch qi in his body to gather at the meridians in his arms. The origin monarch qi followed the meridians that the flame dragon charge passed through and slowly moved to his palm. When it was almost there, Xiao Yan's hands accidentally shook, and the origin monarch qi that was moving forward immediately disappeared, wandering back and forth in his body. Xiao Yan frowned slightly, then once again condensed the origin monarch qi in his body and rushed towards his palm along the meridians. After failing 5 times in a row, Xiao Yan finally succeeded in condensing the origin monarch qi in his hands. Very quickly, Xiao Yan's palm turned slightly red. Xiao Yan was not surprised, but happy. With a thought, more origin monarch qi in his body began circulating rapidly around his meridians. After about a minute, 2 small flames that were a few inches long suddenly appeared on Xiao Yan's palms. The small flames were like fire snakes that were slowly swaying. Xiao Yan looked at the 2 fire snakes that were not even as long as his fingers and smiled bitterly. The origin monarch qi in his body dispersed, and the 2 small fire snakes immediately turned into green smoke. Xiao Yan looked at the slowly dissipating green smoke and let out a light sigh. He closed his eyes and once again thought about the cultivation method in the scroll. After a while, Xiao Yan opened his eyes. 2 fire snakes about 3 meters long appeared in his palm, although the shape of the fire snakes was still a little blurry. However, there was already a trace of ferociousness in them. Nodding his head in satisfaction, Xiao Yan dispersed the 2 flaming snakes. He could feel that his body was still filled with origin monarch cheese. He muttered to himself, "The scroll says that it requires 5-star fighting monarchies and above to be able to cultivate. It does make some sense. There are no vigorous origin monarch cheese. I really can't withstand such torment." Time passed in a flash. In the blink of an eye, Xiao had been in the vicinity for nearly half a month. Xiao was already able to control his own sudden increase in strength. The biggest gain was the cultivation of Flame Dragon Charge. Xiao had been practicing non-stop for the past few days. Although the current Flame Dragon Rush had not reached the 99-inch large success stage, however, it had still reached the 60-foot mastery stage, so its power had naturally increased by quite a bit. In an open space, Xiao was waving 2 fire dragons that were about 150 to 60 meters long in his hands. The fire dragons moved along with the wind, and one could vaguely hear the sound of a dragon's roar. Xiao waved his hands lightly. The 2 fire dragons were like arrows released from a bow, turning into 2 majestic fire pillars. They struck a huge tree not far in front of him, and with a loud bang, the thick and large tree made a loud noise before crashing to the ground. The center of the huge tree was completely destroyed by the 2 fire dragons. Not bad, it is indeed much stronger than a Tian-class Do technique. Xiao looked at the giant tree that had fallen and clicked his tongue as he nodded, thinking back to the time when he slapped down with his yellow fist. This palm, which was sufficient to kill any Dao Sheng in the lower realm, had only caused a large tree that was not much thicker than his thigh to shake a few times. From this one could tell the difference between a Do technique and a monarch art. Moreover, there was the monarch spell above the monarch art. The monarch arts was an even stronger monarch skill. Swish! 2 more fire dragons appeared in Xiao hands. As Xiao controlled them with his mind, the huge fire dragon's body began to shrink rapidly. It only stopped when it turned into 2 fire snakes. Xiao eyes were fixed on the 2 fire snakes on his hands. He calmed his heart and slowly put his hands together. When the 2 fire snakes came into contact with each other, a slight cracking sound was heard from Xiao palms. Xiao gritted his teeth, and his soul power surged out from the top of his head like a tidal wave. It tightly wrapped around his palms, completely controlling the fusion of the 2 fire snakes. However, Xiao only managed to hold on for a moment before the 2 fire snakes in his hands exploded. A huge amount of energy hit Xiao body, forcing him to take 3 or 4 steps back. There was some charred color on his palms. Flame Dragon Charge did not have a fire dragon in each of his hands to fight an enemy. Instead, it was like fusing with a Buddha Fury Fire Lotus, allowing the 2 fire dragons to perfectly fuse together and form a fire dragon. This was the true Flame Dragon Charge. It could only be considered to have reached large success when the fire dragon was 9 feet 9 inches long. At that time, its might would definitely be several times stronger than it was now. Taking a light breath, 2 fire dragons appeared on Xiao hands once again. With a slight sway, the fire dragons turned into the size of fire snakes. Looking at the 2 fire snakes swaying in the fire, Xiao said angrily, "I can even fuse with heavenly flames, but I can't even fuse with your spiritual flame." As he spoke, he wrapped his hands with his soul power, controlling every inch of his body in an extremely balanced manner. After that, both of his palms slowly leaned towards each other. After more than 10 failures, Xiao finally touched a delicate balance point between the 2 fire snakes in an instant. Under Xiao delighted gaze, a fire dragon about 6 to 7 meters long and 2 to 3 meters thick appeared on his right hand and wrapped around his right arm. Success. The first monarch skill in the big world is considered a small success. Xiao looked forward. Wherever he looked, he was still blocked by layers of forest. The depths of the forest were filled with unknown terror. Holy rank trial, this is the true beginning. Ow! Along with an angry beast roar, a figure flapped his wings and quickly escaped from this region. Behind him, a huge stone bull roared and chased after him. With the slow speed of the stone cow, it naturally wouldn't be able to catch up to Xiao Seeing that damn human disappear, the stone cow broke a few trees as if it was venting its anger. It roared and walked into the depths of the forest. This old bull, didn't it just take away all the red baby fruits in its nest? It actually chased me for half a day. On a small tree that was over 10 meters tall, Xiaoyan looked at the stone cow that had left and let out a light sigh. As he spoke, Xiaoyan took out a medicinal herb from his interspatial storage ring. To be precise, it was a fruit. At the top of the fruit, there were 2 small red fruits that were very beautiful under the contrast of the 3 green leaves. The branches were about an inch long. Ever since Xiaoyan accidentally found a red infant fruit and knew that some medicine pills refined from it could increase the absorption of origin monarch keys, he had been searching for it. When Xiaoyan found hundreds of red infant fruits in a cave, he took all of them without hesitation. Just as he finished collecting them, the owner of this cave, a stone bull with the strength of a 7-star Dao monarch, had just returned. When it saw this scene, its eyes instantly turned red and it chased after Xiaoyan for a long time. In the Great World, the fighting monarch was a transition level that belonged to the lower realm and this world. Only those who advanced to the sovereign realm could be considered as cultivators in the Great World. Hence, beasts at the fighting monarch level were still called devil beasts. Only those above the sovereign realm were called spirit beasts. The spirit beasts were 3 levels above the human realm. Above the high-grade spirit beasts were called heavenly beasts. The heavenly beasts were even more powerful than the spirit beasts and could even speak the human language. The 5 monster cores that Xiaoyan needed to complete the holy rank trial should be called heavenly cores, or more accurately, middle-rank heavenly beasts. This was where the energy within the middle-rank heavenly beast's body gathered, and it was equal to a human's origin monarch crystal. The middle-rank heavenly beast corresponded to the monarch emperor level expert of a human. This kind of powerful expert already possessed the strength to fly into the sky and escape into the earth. When he attacked, the winds and clouds would surge and it would be extremely fierce. After recollecting his thoughts, Xiaoyan played with the red baby fruit for a while before putting it back into his sodium ring. He got up and said, "It has been more than 2 months since I was teleported to Forest Domain, although I have already advanced to the 6-star Du Emperor realm. But I still have a long way to go from the Star Moon Spirit Domain." As he spoke, he raised his head and looked at the sky through the lush branches and leaves. He muttered to himself, "Shun Kai Lin, are you guys all right? Star Moon Spirit Domain, Yunlu Academy. Wow Kai Sister Lin, you have already broken through to the 4-star Dao Di realm. So fast." 2 beautiful girls were standing by the window in a beautiful building. A woman with black hair looked at the cold and elegant woman in front of her and laughed. "That's enough, Shun. Don't hit me. Aren't you also a 4-star Du Di? Furthermore, I just advanced yesterday." "You have already advanced for about 10 days. The cold-looking woman said helplessly. "Hey, it is still all right, but I wonder how Mr. Xiaoyan is now and how strong he has reached." Shun frowned slightly and said. When she heard Xiaoyan's name, Kai Lin's eyes also flashed a trace of worry. Then she said, "Jun, don't worry. Xiaoyan is very lucky, so naturally he will be fine." "Oh, right, where are Uncle Gu and Uncle Ju?" "Oh, Father and Uncle Ju both broke through to the 5-star fighting monarch 2 days ago. Today they went to the monarch skill pavilion to search for the monarch skill." Kai Lin smiled when she heard that. Uncle Gu and Uncle Ju stayed at the 9-star Do Shang class for thousands of years when they were in the fighting Sea continent. Now that they have accumulated so much, it is normal. Shun smiled and said, "The day before yesterday, Father and the others said that if it was not for the treatment given by the academy because of Mr. Xiaoyan, they would definitely not be able to reach the 5-star fighting monarch now." Kai Lin also smiled slightly, Xiaoyan. As she said, she looked up at the mysterious sky and mumbled, "You must come back safely." No need to wait for the next episode. The full audio novel is already available on my website. Check it out below.